Hi folks, we're going to talk a little bit now about continuing our discussion on the legal framework about harassment, particularly workplace harassment. It is covered under the Human Rights Code and it is something that's prohibited. So when we look at harassment, what does it really mean? It means that by definition, any unwelcome behavior that would demean you as a person or humiliate you, embarrass you, and things that a reasonable person should know would be embarrassing and unwelcomed by you. So the most common kind of workplace harassment we find is sexual and racial harassment. And yes, bullying is harassment. Some people don't know that, but if somebody is saying pushing you around, forcing you to do things that you don't want to do. Kids in many cases experience bullying at school. Any of those things are considered to be harassment. But when we look at sexual harassment, something like, say for example, in a workplace, if somebody wants sexual favors in return for promotion. So for example, you're not going to get a promotion unless you advance some kind of sexual favor to somebody. That's harassment. Even if somebody asks for a sexual favor and there's nothing in it for you, that's harassment as well. They shouldn't be doing that. And that's something that employers can certainly fire people for. It is important, though, that people or companies do have a written policy on it so that employees know what constitutes harassment. So if we just want to have a little look at Mohawk's policy on it, that might give you a little idea of what some of the issues are around harassment. So I'm just going to click here. Okay, so you can see all of these are open areas of our website. They actually specifically talk a little bit here about what harassment is and give very specific examples. So say, for example, you get offensive or intimidating calls or emails. You know, even those jokes, if you work at a company, sometimes you got the guy or the gal in the company who's a real prankster or a joker, and they'll send around using the company's technology and email, dirty jokes or, pornographic video or photographs, that kind of stuff. That's harassment. That's sexual harassment. That's not supposed to be happening in an organization. All right. If somebody belittles your opinions, it's even worse if they belittle them in public, but it's just as bad if they do it in private. That's still considered to be harassment. So you can scroll through here and look at what Mohawk says. Again, the roles and responsibilities for harassment are outlined here as well. Supervisors and managers have to ensure that no employees are subjected to harassment in their workplace. So again, I think if they see something that they think is borderlining on harassment, they have an opportunity there to pull the employee aside and say, hey, you shouldn't be doing that, right? And they're well within their right to do it. Employees should be doing a similar kind of thing, but in the sense that they should be demonstrating and being familiar with the company's harassment policy, and they should demonstrate respectful and appropriate work conduct that doesn't include harassment, right? So you can go and scroll through our policy here, but part of the thing that employees need to do as well, and companies need to make sure they do, is put on training and information sessions that remind employees and or even teach them for the first time about harassment and bullying, what it is, how to handle it, and how to treat it, okay, if they see it happening. So those kinds of things are important. All right. Just know that if you harass anybody, it could cost you. So this little link here is going to take you to the Human Resources Reporter, which is a periodical that I subscribe to. And let's see if it comes up. It may not come up before 5 minutes is up for a video capture, but we'll see if it does. Okay, what we'll do is we'll capture it in the next video. So in the next video, we'll open up with some of the costs to an employer if they harass employees. So sometimes employers are guilty of it and they don't even know they're doing it. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes in our next video.